I'm going to talk a little bit today about fear. I've noticed it as a huge presence in my own life, certainly in the lives of my clients, so much so that I have discovered that it's helpful for me sometimes to think about when I am trying to decide how to interact with a situation, whether it's a conflict or a conversation or an upcoming presentation or parenting my children, interacting with parents of another child, that it can be helpful for me to envision my insides as a boardroom where all the different parts of me are present. So my fear is certainly there, courage is there, wisdom, sorrow, insecurity, confidence, hope, just all the different parts of me that I'm aware of. So what I've noticed is that very often fear grabs the gavel, like in the moment when the decision needs to be made, fear grabs the gavel, starts banging it and says, okay, here's what we're going to do. And then afterwards, I'm kind of left going, oh, I really wish I hadn't handled that situation that way. I wish I had said this, or I wish I hadn't said that. Or I wish I had chosen to be involved in some kind of, loving way. And then I end up kind of feeling like maybe I can't, maybe that's not who I am, maybe I'm not, I don't have that to offer. So it's been helpful for me to think about the wallflower in the boardroom, which for me is hope. So I sort of see her as this girl who's like quiet and just really observing all the things that are happening. But she's not going to say anything unless I ask her, like, hey, what do you think we should do? What do you think I should do? And what I've noticed is that so often this hopeful part of me has really wise, loving ideas about how to respond, in contrast to the fearful part of me, which so often has really crappy ideas about how to respond. And I know that fear has its place. It has its place in relationships sometimes. Sometimes there are people who are not, that we rightfully feel fearful around. And that's not really what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about more like people that you want to be in relationship with, or that you are in relationship with, and who aren't, abusive or bring about this, this helpful fear. So very often the fear that I experience in relationship has really crappy ideas about how to respond. Like, oh, let's just run away and not deal with this. Or let's get really mean and, then they'll run away and we won't have to deal with this. Where the hopeful part of me so often will say, well, let's try this. Let's just do this and see what happens. And so, this happened to me recently even, where my husband and I were upstairs having kind of a hard conversation, and I started to hear our daughter downstairs. We have an infant daughter who started crying, and so I got up. I said, I'm going to go get her, and I added, really without even thinking about it, and I think I'm just going to stay down there. And I could tell from the look on his face that he was disappointed about that. So I'm heading down the stairs, and I'm thinking, why did I say that? Why did I even say I'm just going to stay down there? And it was fear. It was, it's scary to be close to another person. It's hard to work out difficult things and hope that that the person's still going to care about you and you're still going to care about them. And it's just scary to be close to another person. So I'm headed down the stairs, and this hopeful part of me kind of says quietly, like, I want to go back up. I want to go back upstairs and finish the conversation. And then of course the realistic part of me says, well, you have 2 children, you're probably not going to finish this conversation. But I at least wanted to go back up and, show my husband that he matters to me, that we matter to me, and to continue to engage about this hard thing that we were trying to work out. And in this case, it was great. I was so glad I went back up. He was really glad I went back up. And, it's not like the skies parted and we, solved all our problems. But I was really glad to be able to engage in a loving way. I felt more empowered, and I was able to love him better. And, so often after I've responded out of fear, I'm left feeling more distant from other people and more kind of doubtful about what I have to offer in relationship, and whether other people would want to have relationship with me. Where when I allow hope to be a part of the conversation, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, I'm so glad that I did, even if it doesn't work out. I'm so glad that I did. And so this is my continuing hope for myself in my life. It's my hope for my children. It's my hope for my clients. And it's my hope for you that listening to my thoughts on this today might encourage you to allow hope to be more a part of how you interact in the world.